Welcome to another edition of Utopia Football Insider. Oren Shiri, Chris Ransom here. We are set to break down Week 12 in the National Football League, and we start with an AFC North clash between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. I got the Steelers winning this game. I think it's going to be a defensive game. I've got the Steelers 20-16, I believe the score is. Browns have injuries to Wills and to DeJuan Jones at offensive tackle. Even Joey, the biggest Browns fan at Draft Utopia, is picking the Steelers. That should speak volumes. I'm going 20-16 Steelers over the Browns in a defensive game. Pittsburgh looking for their first win in First Energy Bank Stadium since 2018. I think they get it. Steelers improved to 6-1 in the AFC. What do you want to add, Oren?
Well, Steelers defense and special teams are doing great this season. The Browns are not that bad, but I think they're it's just not there for them this year. I see the Steelers winning this game 24-13. I think that's the Steelers look like they're heading for the competing in that AFC title with the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, Tony Mario has 4 AFC teams in the top 6, the Bills at 2, the Chiefs at 3, the Steelers at 4, and the Ravens at 6. Those 4 look like the power teams in the AFC this year. I agree. Next game, another lock, another boring contest, but we'll try to spin an interesting twist on it. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go Kansas City 30, Carolina 17. The over-under is 45.5. Majority of the public's betting the over. That means to bet on the under. What's even more shocking is 75% of the public's betting on Carolina as the home underdog to cover the spread at plus 7.5. So I like the Chiefs 30-17. I think they win by 10 or more points. They win by 8. But I think the Chiefs win 30-17. This was another lock on the site. Do you want to add anything to this Chiefs-Panthers game before we get to the next game?
Well, the cheaters, even though they will win this game, this is a win. They don't have to suffer in the last seconds. They should win this game. It would be funny if the Panthers win this game because everybody will be laughing at the Chiefs and then know that they'll be cheating. But anyway, I have the Chiefs covering the spread here, 31-12.
31-12. I love that score. It's a very unique score. Next up, it is the Vikings and the Bears. You know what? I'm going to take the Bears to pull off the proverbial upset. They have their offensive tackles, Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, back from injuries. They're getting their left guard, Tevin Jenkins, back. I think having a fully healthy offensive line did wonders for DeAndre Swift and Caleb Williams last week. And Jones and Wright were getting into the swing of things before losing 20-19 to the Packers at home. I think they beat the Vikings. Caleb Williams is due for a good game. Sam Darnold's due for a bad one. But I'm going to go 21-20. Bears only beat the Vikings by a point after losing to Green Bay by a point.
But I have it going the other way, sir. I took the Vikings. And the Vikings, you're not going to step Sam Darnold if he's on the money. And he plays better. He's going to take advantage of his weapons this week. I think Williams is still trying to, he looked good in the beginning, getting used to it. They're coming after him. They're looking at for his, and he will improve in the next few years. But the Vikings will take over this in a close game, 20-17.
I think part of the reason why the Bears struggled the last few weeks was because of the injuries at tackle. Now that their tackles are healthy, I think he's got a chance to maybe win a few more games. But as far as the Bears' overall outlook, I agree with you. They're going to be the team that's in last place in this division when it's all said and done. Titans and Texans. This game is in Houston. I like the Texans 28-6. I originally had 21-13, Texans. I modified my score after finding out that Will Anderson Jr. is returning from his injury. Titans aren't going to have Algerius Sneed or Chidobe Awuzie. Calvin Ridley's dealing with an illness. Simmons is on the veterans rest for today. I think this is a blowout, but the under occurs since a lot of people are betting the over. I'm going to go Texans 28, Titans 6. Houston gets another blowout win. And they blow out the Titans 28-6. Texans are another lock on the site this week.
Titans defense looks like they're tired on the field. I don't know where they're going. They have a lot of holes to improve there. Texans, when they're on top of their game, they could be very, very good. I just see them. I like those the 31 that I took before, but I'm going to go here. I'm going to go 34-6, 2 field goals.
So we both have the Titans getting only 2 field goals. Also worth pointing out, this is the first game all season where the Texans defense is at full health. They have their 11 best starters. So that's why Oren and I are doubling down on the Titans only getting 2 field goals. All right, next up is the Lions and the Colts. I know Anthony Richardson had over 300 total yards against the Jets, but the Jets have a terrible Jets had a bunch of injuries. They don't know how to close out games. They're depleted at safety. The Lions are
everywhere.
Animal.
But we're not talking about the Jets.
I know. I was just saying Anthony Richardson, he helped the Colts get a win in his first game back since starting after Flacco got benched for Richardson. But we're talking about the Lions and the Colts. The Jets are on a bye week, so that's all the love they're getting from us. 34-17 Lions. I think the Lions score twice as many points as the Colts, but I think the Colts have enough offensive talent to put up 17 on the Lions at home with Richardson starting.
Very close score that I have. But yeah, I mean, but you can never count out the way the Detroit's playing, never count out that they can get almost to 50 points in this game too. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch if that happens. Colts defense is not that bad, so don't worry about that. I take the Lions here, 38, we'll say 20.
All right. I like that.
And they cover the spread on that too as well.
Next up is the Patriots and the Dolphins. I love Drake May as the quarterback of the future here. Patriots did cut Tyquan Thornton, their second-round pick. But I just think the Dolphins are a better team than New England on paper. Tua's back. He's got his weapons back. The Dolphins are just the better team right now. Bradley Chubb should be back soon. Even with Jalen Phillips out for the year, Chop Robinson looked really good against the Rams a few weeks ago on Monday Night Football. And with the Patriots, how bad their tackle situation is, I think Chop Robinson has a big day for Miami in this one. I'm gonna go with New England. I'm gonna go with Miami 31, New England 17. I do think Drake May scores some points, but at the end of the day, I like the Dolphins by 2 touchdowns. Too many weapons in that offense for New England to stop.
I mean, once you get the groove to it looks very unstoppable, and that's what happened before his big concussion that he had earlier in the year. He does have good playmakers on the offense as well. I think it's too much for the Patriots at this time to handle. It's not like they're not going to go away and not be competitive the next few years, but they're going to have to improve. It's just little holes that the Patriots need to fix before they get to be that one of those top teams. And basically they have right now, it's going to be, I would say I'm going to take the Dolphins 31-20 here.
Very well. The Buccaneers play the Giants. They're getting Mike Evans back, and Daniel Jones is now the 4th string quarterback. 3rd stringer Tommy DeVito's the starter. Drew Lock's the backup. Tim Boyle, who is awful at quarterback, is the 3rd stringer on the Giants, and Daniel Jones is the 4th stringer. So Buccaneers, Giants. I had the Buccaneers 21-17. I am going to slice that in half. I'll go 21-7. I'm deducting the Giants 10 points for benching Daniel Jones, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers by 2 touchdowns, 21-7.
The Bucks. I mean, I can care less about this game because I just don't see. But the Bucks are going to win. Simple as that. Going to be closer than I think it's some of these other games. Baker Mayfield versus Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones got benched, Oren. The pizza man, Tommy DeVito, is starting.
Who?
Tommy DeVito.
Okay, so domination on the offensive side of the ball. Buccaneers then win 38-10. I don't even know who the guy is, so I can't be saying.
He started against the Packers on Monday night last year and won, but we'll move on to Cowboys Commanders. This is another who cares game with Dak Prescott out of the lineup. I'm going to go with a close game, though. I'm going to go 20-14 Commanders. The Cowboys, since this is their division rival, they actually find a way to keep this close. Commanders still cover the spread, though, and win at home 20-14 and get back on the winning track. I know, I should probably pick the Commanders by 2 or 3 scores. I know you're disappointed.
Commanders are going to win. They need a big win badly. Cowboys are going in so many different directions. I see so many rumors about BS. We can have a whole other
rumors about Shadur Sanders going to Dallas, Deion Sanders coaching there. It's all clickbait, Oren. It's all clickbait.
Five, 6 teams and jump up in front. You know, it's all bullshit. I don't care about what.
It's all clickbait. It's all BS. We both know it's BS.
Yeah.
It's like Jerry Jones is living in the movie Inception right now with all the chaos in Dallas.
And the funny thing is you cannot talk to anyone unless it's the off season. So it's hogwash what you see.
Yeah, agreed.
So otherwise they get fined, and I doubt the teams want to get fined, especially an owner. Anyway, 34-14, Commanders dominate this game. It won't even be fun to watch. Do not put your television on. Go Redskins, yeah.
Good advice.
Go Hogs, okay.
Man, Broncos Raiders in Las Vegas.
Well, you know, it's been a long coming, but Bo Nix is going to be Rookie of the Year, bro, and he looks pretty good. But I think the Raiders could have some way to keep it close in a rival game. So it's, I mean, be up and down. I mean, it'd be surprising if Crosby and the rest of the game can keep a good defense and hold him back and scare the rookie, even though he's still a rookie and still does well. He doesn't do as good when he has a big rush. So that's going to hold them back, but they're still going to win. The Broncos 23-20.
I've got the Broncos 21-20. The point spread is -3 for Denver. So Oren's going with a push. I'm going with the Raiders to cover the spread, but the Broncos are still going to win, and Oren's still going to call them the Donkeys unapologetically slow. But Bo Nix will strengthen his case for Rookie of the Year. I have Bo Nix throwing 3 touchdowns in this game. I like the Broncos 21-20. Raiders are the 8th lock on the site this week. Next game is Packers 49ers. This is a game I'm okay with doing a deep dive on because this is, I would argue, after the Monday night, Sunday night game, Packers 49ers might be the best game of the week. Like after the Thursday night game, the bottom 4 games are probably the 4 best games of the week. 49ers, Packers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Eagles, Rams, and Ravens, Chargers. I would argue, Oren, those 4 are the 4 best games of the week. Maybe you disagree with me on that, but I think those are the 4 best games of the week.
Yeah, Cardinals and Seahawks, 49ers and Packers. I like those 2 games, actually. 49ers are desperate to get a wing to get back in string. I mean, the NFC West looks very competitive. We really don't know who could win that division. Even the Rams at some point can take that too. So this is an open division. All teams are average, a little bit maybe above average.
I went with the
And
Packers 28-21, and I see a cheese emoji next to Oren's predictions, which means he also took the Packers. If unless
that's correct. That's correct. The Packers win 31-27. I think both teams do well in offense.
Yeah, I mean, majority of the public's betting on the under right now and betting on San Francisco. I like Green Bay and the over here. I went 28-21, but Oren's got the right idea, 31-27. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Next up, it's Arizona and Seattle, and it's in Seattle. I like the Seahawks. They got their right tackle, Abraham Lucas, back from an injury last week. That was a curveball. That threw me off because I didn't think he'd return this season because he missed most of the last season with an injury, but he came back. And, the Seahawks, they looked really good with him back in the lineup. I currently have the Seahawks winning 23-21, but I'm going to give Seattle a touchdown, and we're going to go 30-24. Seattle wins in overtime. 30-24.
30-24. Yeah, I mean, it's really a matchup that I like to see. This is a good matchup here. Seattle has a way, especially at home, doing really well. That's why they have the 12th man, on site. And Arizona's they have a possibility of winning this division. I don't remember if I took them or even if I answered that one. But it's Kyle Murray and Geno Smith. I think did I pick that one, Chris?
Let me look at the emojis to figure out which team Oren picked. Because my initial score is 23-21, but I'm probably going to
Let's take the
change that.
Seahawks too. I'll take Geno Smith in this one, 27-16.
Yeah, I see a bird and I see a lightning bolt. I think that's for Eagles and Chargers.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just double checking. I see a military helmet. I don't know if that's supposed
That's
to be.
Commanders.
That's for Commanders. There's a donkey, that's Broncos, Dolphins, the skull emojis, Buccaneers, the pig emojis, Commanders, the Queen is Chiefs, and the nut and bolt is the Steelers for Steel Curtain defense. So I'm doing pretty well with my emojis here. I don't think Oren picked a team, but he's going to pick the Seahawks just like me. Their offensive line's at full health. I do think that's going to matter. And I like Seattle by a touchdown in this one. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. All right, Eagles-Rams. Eagles are fully healthy on both sides of the ball, and logic says I should pick the Eagles, but I'm going to take the Rams. I saw what they did to my Patriots last week. I think Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are on a mission, and I think they handle business against the Eagles here. I think they're going to get their offensive line back at full health too. I'm going to go with the Rams 28-24 in a high-scoring game. I think this is going to be a very close game, but the Rams pull off the upset 28-24. It's going to be a very fun, entertaining Sunday night game too.
I'm going to go 27-24. It's going to be a close game, like you said. Rams defense is keeping them in the games. Matthew Stafford, got his weapons back. Kupp, and Nacua. It's just, but I just feel that Philadelphia, with the the rushing game, I should say, was Barkley. It's going to be too much for them to stop.
That's fair. Next final game is the Chargers. Ravens host the Chargers. This is the game of the week. We have the Raven Charger thumbnail for Utopia Football Insider. Justin Herbert's the cover photo for the Week 12 predictions article I'm going to do on Draft Utopia. And the game of the week is going to be Ravens Chargers. So whoever's the player of the game in Ravens Chargers, that's the player you're going to see at the very top of the game recaps, page 2. And we have, I'm going to take the, I like the Chargers 27-21 over the Ravens. I mean, Justin Herbert has the fewest interceptions in the league with 1. Josh Allen was the last quarterback to throw a pick, but Justin Herbert only has 1 interception, and we're entering week 12, and Allen's at 3 now. So unless the Ravens actually successfully intercept Herbert, I think Herbert's going to keep doing his thing. And the rookie corners, Cam Hart and Tarheeb, still have been phenomenal. I like the Chargers by 6, 27-21. I like the over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
It's the second annual Hard Bowl.
Third, John won the first two. Jim's due for a win now in the Hard Bowl.
I thought it was 2. But anyway, let's see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a nice game. But isn't one of them were playoffs, not a regular season game?
One was a regular season game where the Ravens beat the 49ers, and the other was Super Bowl 47, where the power outage Super Bowl in New Orleans back in 2013, if you remember. That was the second meeting between them.
I picked the Chargers on this one. I just see the Chargers defense holding the Jackson gang. And I'm going to take a close score. It's going to be it's going to be really decided on like less than a field goal. So I'm going to go 23-21 here. But I do see the Chargers not covering the spread.
Yeah, I still like the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to lose these two games and bait a lot of people into picking against them. And then they're going to go on a run against the Eagles next week. But I'll explain that later. I expect them to lose this week. I think the Chargers, they just have too much momentum right now, and they are on a mission to get that number 1 wild card in the AFC. And with their schedule, I think they're gonna pull it off, and I think the Chargers are gonna end up as the wild card 1 in the AFC when all is said and done. All right, that'll do it for this week's edition. Unless you want to talk about,
well, you got two big games. I feel in college, you have Ohio State hosting Indiana, and you have a number 2 team that only lost to Oregon, who's the number 1 team, facing the number 5 team.
By a point.
Indiana, what?
By a point. Oregon beat Ohio State 32-31.
Yes.
To reinforce your argument.
Facing Indiana, who is undefeated at this time. Great game. Let me explain what the QB of Indiana has done. Don't get me wrong. Indiana has a Curtis Rourke. I don't know if everybody's familiar with him, but he almost has 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns. There's still 2 games left in the season and the bowl game. Folks, look out for him. Great quarterback.
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback on Ohio last year, the younger brother of Tanner Rourke, who also played for Ohio, and he transferred from Ohio to Indiana after Curt Cignetti, the former James Madison head coach, took the Indiana job and recruited him to Indiana. And Cignetti's already got an 8-year extension for $8 million a year in Indiana. He got extended last Saturday.
I mean, there's a lot of crappy games, or there should be wins by all the other teams, except I'm going to go to Arizona State, who's holding their own ground if there's a loss to one of those 2 teams above them. So if they actually beat BYU in the Big 12, they could host Colorado if Colorado continues to win outright.
If Colorado and Arizona State went out, it would be Arizona State at Colorado. Colorado would be the home team, but it'd be a neutral site game. And I think that's what's going to happen. I agree with you. I've got Arizona State winning over BYU this weekend. I mean, they've got a really good running back. I think they're going to control the tempo, and they're going to beat BYU.
Sam Levitt and company.
I've got one more game I'm going to throw out there quickly. It is Army versus Notre Dame. Army is 9-0 this year. They're undefeated, and Notre Dame's ranked in the top 10. So we're going to quickly break this game down, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm going to take the Fighting Irish to beat Army, but I think it'd be hilarious if Army continued their undefeated run.
Oh, yeah. If Army wins, they secured themselves in the first playoff spot, I think, ever for them.
Yeah, because they have
even though this one is a 12 game, but it's going to be a first top bowl game for them in a long, long time. So that would be amazing if they could come out and beat Notre Dame. Anyway, I'm out. You guys have a good week.